You are home alone. The lights are off in the next room. You did not turn around. But something in your chest just told you to. That feeling has a name. Scientists call it felt presence. Your ancestors just called it staying alive. Deep in your brain sits a small structure called the amygdala. It does not wait for proof. It scans for threat constantly, even in your own kitchen at midnight. The neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping this system, and he found something strange. The amygdala does not need to see a real threat. It only needs a pattern that resembles one, a shadow shaped like a person, a creak that sounds like a footstep. Close enough counts. Why would evolution build a system this jumpy? Because being wrong in one direction cost far less than being wrong in the other. Mistake the wind for a predator, and you lose a moment of adrenaline. Mistake a predator for the wind, and you lose everything. Natural selection does not reward accuracy, it rewards survival. This is called threat detection bias. It did not disappear just because you now live behind a locked door with a working alarm system. Your amygdala does not know the year, it only knows the pattern in front of it, and an empty, dark hallway is exactly the kind of pattern it was built to flag. But there is more happening than fear alone. Your brain is also finding faces where there are none. Look at an electrical outlet, two eyes and a mouth. This is called pareidolia, and the psychologist Kang Lee showed that your brain's face recognition circuits fire even when you're staring at toast or static. Your brain would rather give you a false face than miss a real one, because for a creature living among predators, missing a real face hidden in the bushes cost far more than seeing one that wasn't there. Now put both systems together. A brain built to flag ambiguous shapes is danger. A brain built to find faces in nothing. Turn out the lights, sit alone in a quiet house, and both systems fire at once. The writer Michael Shermer has a name for what happens next. He calls it agenticity, the tendency to assume patterns are caused by an intentional agent rather than chance. Your floor settles because wood contracts in cool air, but your brain doesn't want a chemistry explanation. It wants an agent, something that chose to make that sound. Here is the part almost nobody notices. This whole system gets louder specifically when you are alone. For most of human history, a solitary human was far more vulnerable than one in a group. So your nervous system still treats aloneness itself as a risk, independent of what is actually happening around you. That's why a creak at 2 a.m. feels different from the exact same creak at a party full of people. The sound hasn't changed. Your threat calculus has. None of this is a decision you make. Your pulse rises, your breathing shortens, your eyes widen slightly to catch peripheral movement. All of it happens before the rational part of your brain even finishes processing what you saw. You feel the fear first, you explain it to yourself second. That's why the feeling survives the explanation. You check every room, find nothing, and still feel unease for 20 minutes after. Your amygdala just needs time to stand down, the same way your heart rate doesn't drop the instant a threat passes. There's a strange twist to all of this. Researchers studying folklore across wildly different cultures, with almost no contact between them, keep finding the same core description: a presence behind you, a weight in the room, hair rising on your arms for no visible reason, different languages, different explanations layered on top. But the sensation underneath is nearly identical, which suggests something older than any single culture's storytelling. Notice, too, how the feeling almost always gets stronger the second you stop moving. Walking through the house, you're occupied. Standing still, you're listening. And listening, it turns out, is exactly when your threat detection system has the most room to work. Silence isn't empty to your brain. Silence is data waiting to be filled in. So the next time an empty room suddenly feels occupied, understand what's actually happening. You are not malfunctioning. You are running a survival algorithm older than your house, older than electricity, older than locked doors. It served every human who came before you well enough that their genes made it all the way to you. Tonight, when the lights go off and something makes you glance over your shoulder, you will not really be alone in that room. You never are. Every human who ever lived in the dark left you this exact feeling, quietly doing its job the moment the lights go out.